Yo, what's going on, everyone? Long time no see. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. You know me, I'm doing fine. It's another beautiful day. I'm enjoying this weather right now. It's very nice out. So, um, I wanted to do sort of a continuation that of a story that I've already told. Um, it's part of my Bewitched series. Yes, there is a continuity to this story, believe it or not. It just wasn't, there's some things that I'm just not sure if I want to speak about because of the spiritual involvement, so to speak. I try not to call upon things that are not welcome in my presence, if that makes sense. If you're spiritual like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I wouldn't even have to explain this to you. But as I was saying, we all know the story already. One of my friends, my roommate, my friend Kay, I miss you, bro. I hope you're doing all right, man. I hope she didn't get you. I'm just going to say that. I don't know what you're up to, bro. I hope you're okay, though. But he met this girl or whatever. There was something very dark about her. I always got bad vibes from her. And apparently she did something to him that wasn't very nice and he didn't appreciate it. To the point where he got upset and he actually hit her in the face. This is something that he wasn't known for. He wasn't known for like beating on women and things like that. Hitting them in the face and stuff. She must have really done something that he did not like. I don't know what. I didn't ask. But like I said, we already know the story about that. After he hit her in the face, a lot of weird things started happening. Spiritual stuff. Like often. Very often. And he got spooked and he moved away. So for a while there, I kind of lived in this big old house by myself for a little while after he moved out. And it was scary, the spiritual stuff was still happening even after he moved out. Like I said before, it wasn't as frequent as it was before. It started to slow down as far as frequency, but things were still happening. And I remember one day, I was sitting in my room and I could hear voices in the living room. Cause my bedroom was right across from the living room. So whatever happens in the living room, I always hear it. I will always hear it. No matter what it was, a pen can drop on the floor, I would hear it. So I'm hearing people, it sounds like about 3 people talking in the living room. I'm hearing their voices clear as day. And like I said, now at this point, I live by myself. I should not be hearing voices in the living room, okay? Obviously, this creeped me out. I went to the vape shop that was down the street from my house because they they sold sage in there. They had buds and sage, and this was the only place I could think of where I could get it right away. It was expensive too, but I still bought it. I still went there and got it. And yeah, I came back home, smudged the house, and I prayed. And you know, for a long time afterwards, the activity stopped. The supernatural activity completely stopped. No more smell of death. No more banging sounds. None of that stuff was happening anymore. So, eventually, I got new roommates. I had got 2 new roommates because this was a big house. And they moved in at the same time. 2 of my friends. So it was fun to have new roommates and not live there by myself anymore. It was starting to get boring. It was scary at first, but then after I smudged, it just started getting boring. There was nothing to do anymore. Nobody to talk to, man. So I got 2 new roommates. I'm not sure if I want to say their names, but I'm gonna just say one of them name is D, and the other one's name is J. Okay. So these 2 guys moved in. They were cool or whatever, right? So after a few weeks of them being there, or about a month or so, I came home from work one day because I believe I was still working overnight at the time. I believe I was still working my job overnight. I came home from work and they were both sitting out on the front porch talking to each other, my 2 roommates. So I walked up and I started chit-chatting with them or whatever. You know, we're chopping it up. And all of a sudden, D, he was just like, he told me like something happened last night. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he said he woke up in the middle of the night and he looked up and there was a girl like standing in his doorway of his room. He said she was just standing there looking at him, and then she proceeded to walk down the hallway, and he got up and followed behind her and she was gone. When he told me this, I think every hair on my body stood up, because the girl that he was talking about was the same girl who committed suicide. And her bedroom was the room that he was living in. But he did not know this. And I did not know that he didn't know this because the landlord apparently did not tell him. The same way she didn't tell me before I moved in. Anyway, that's a whole other story. So when he told me this, I damn near crapped on myself because I remember all that supernatural activity that was happening before. Even I have seen things before in this house. So when he told me that, I knew exactly who he was talking about. And I remember I asked him, was it a white girl? He said, yeah. I was like, yep, that's her. He was talking about her, the girl that OD'd. And that was when I told him the story about that house and everything that took place in that house. And then oh man, the supernatural activity started to happen all over again at this point. Especially with D. It was mostly happening with him. You know, it was mostly him. The supernatural activity seemed to surround him for some reason. And like I said, I believe it's because the room that he was staying in belonged to the girl who killed herself. She killed herself in that room. Man, I get so scared when I think about some of this stuff that I can't even tell the story straight. I can't tell it how I want to because there were a lot of things happening. And when these things are happening, a lot of times you don't have time to think. You just want to get away from the activity. But I'm not going to lie. Some of it was actually hilarious, literally funny. Some of it, the stuff that was happening with D particularly, like it was getting to a point where we just couldn't do anything but laugh, yo, because it seemed unreal. These things don't happen, bro. Not naturally. There was something. These things are not of this world. That was for sure. So, like I said, things started happening. He one day, he said he came out of his room. I heard a loud bang. I was in my room and he was in his room. I heard a loud banging sound. It sounded like something really big had fell down on the floor. It almost shook the house. That's how loud it was. And I got up and I'm like, what the hell was that? So I stepped out of my room and he stepped out of his and I asked him like, bro, did you hear that? What was that? He was like, yo. He was like, you're not going to believe this. But he had his TV mounted on his wall. He said his TV just went flying off the wall. Fell on the floor and broke. He had to buy a whole new TV. He said it didn't just fly off the wall. It went flying towards him, like it almost hit him. And now this guy, he used to drink. Both of them, they were drinkers. So when he was telling me and my other roommate this, my other roommate was just like, man, you were drunk, man. You probably knocked it down and you weren't paying attention. And I just was like, I didn't really know what to think, man. I didn't think he was lying though. I definitely did not think he was lying because of everything else that I've already witnessed. So that happened, right? Now he was he was dating. He was in like a long distance relationship with this girl out in Canada, and they were talking on the phone. They were FaceTime every day, basically. So um, I remember the first time he introduced me to her, and he, like I said, they were on FaceTime, and and when he introduced us, and she looked at me, she had made this face. She had made this face, and he knew what it meant, and I knew what it meant too. But I tried to play it off like I didn't notice. But she had a look on her face like she was interested, and obviously he's her boyfriend, so he wasn't very pleased about that. And, and I assured him, like, dude, like, um, she can't do nothing for me. She's all the way in another. She's in another country, bro. Like, and I don't know her, so you got nothing to worry about, bro. And but I did warn him. I told him that I don't remember my exact words to him, but basically, I told him I have a bad feeling about her. Like, you should probably reconsider her and move on to someone else. Um, I have a feeling that this girl is not good for you. And he, kind of agreed with what I was saying, but he did not want to leave this girl alone. He wanted to start a family with her, and he wanted to move out to Canada where she lives and have, settle down with her and get married. Okay, and I said, well, that's good for you. But it's really none of my business. I just kind of respected his wishes. And sure enough, about a few weeks later, um, he, I don't mean to laugh, yo, but like, I can't even make this up, yo. I cannot make this up, man. Like, bro, you're watching this, man, and you already know, man. I'm not like laughing now all of a sudden. I was laughing back then too. We were both laughing. Even he was laughing at this because it was funny. But one day he FaceTimed her, right? She answered like everything was normal. And then she had, all of a sudden she had this dude show up on the FaceTime with her, bro. Like, yeah, this is her new boyfriend. She introduced her boyfriend to her boyfriend. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Yo, bro, I warned you, man. I warned you, bro. I had a bad feeling the way she looked at me. Anyway, that happened, and then eventually she just didn't answer his calls anymore. So he got all depressed. He started drinking more. You know, he 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 had to buy a new TV, and his girlfriend dumped him. Now that I think about it, I think it was like in the same week, if I'm not mistaken. It was like the same week. Crazy, right? So something in my hair, or it's a leaf. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So his girlfriend dumped him for another guy. Long distance relationship sucks, man. They really do. So yeah, he started drinking more, and you know, he's all sad and stuff all the time. I would try to cheer him up, and he went through all his beer, and we were sitting there talking. He decided he wanted to go. He's gonna walk down the street to a liquor store and pick up some more beer. Right? He left, and he came back. I was laughing at this one too, man. I'm sorry, bro, but yo, this guy was being attacked spiritually on a whole other level, yo. On a whole other level. But at the time, I knew it was something supernatural going on with him, but I knew nothing about spiritual things. Like I said before, I didn't know too much about stuff like that. I would do a lot of second-rate guessing, like the average person. So he went to the store, and he came back. He has blood running down his arm. He's like trying to bandage up his arm. Now, me and my other roommate, we were sitting on the porch. So we seen him when he came walking up. And we like, yo, what happened? Why are you bleeding? Are you okay? You need to go to the hospital. What happened? Did you get jumped? What happened? This story still makes me laugh. The story that he told us, okay? He might have been exaggerating, but I don't know, man. It was funny. We started cracking up laughing when he told us this story. He said after he walked out the store, a guy came walking past him down the street. And the guy asked him if he had a cigarette. And he made a harmless joke with the guy. He said something like, yeah, I have a cigarette. Do you? Or something like that. He was just playing with him though. He was just joking with the guy. And the guy obviously did not take kindly to that joke. And he said the guy reached in his jacket, and he said it happened so fast that he couldn't tell what it was. He said it might have been a knife, it might have been a razor. But he reached in his jacket and he pulled out this weapon and just sliced him across the arm with it real quick. It was like in under a second. In like half a second, it happened just that quick. And he just like, and he said the guy, after the guy cut him, he was about to cut him again. And he said he jumped back, he kicked the guy in the chest, and the guy fell on the ground, and he took off running down the street. Yo, we started cracking up laughing. Because I almost didn't believe him. I almost didn't believe him. Like, all of that happened over a cigarette? Like, nah, bro. I said, that's cat. And he started laughing, yo. He was like, no, I'm serious, man. He was like, he said, that's why I'm bleeding. He said, that's why I'm bleeding. The guy actually cut me just because I made a joke with him about a cigarette. I'm like, now that I'm thinking back on this, man, I think this was just, that was a demonic attack. That spirit was sent to him intentionally. A monitoring spirit. That spirit knew where he was and where he was going to be. And he was probably going to be killed. This spirit was trying to kill him, yo. Damn, D, I miss you too, bro. By the way, I miss you too, man. I hope you're okay too, man, because you was under some serious spiritual attacks, man. I've never seen anything like it. All of these things was happening within like the same week with this guy, bro. I'm not joking. He had a nice big screen TV. He had a nice TV. It just flew off the wall and broke the whole screen. He had to buy a new TV. His girlfriend played them, and now this. I was like, dude, like, I don't think this is just bad luck. This is something else, bro. And my friend Jay, he agreed. Because when he told us his story about the TV, Jay initially thought that he was just drunk, he was tripping out. But after he told us this story about the guy, how the guy cut him, and how his girl just dumped him like that, that's when Jay started to realize that, yeah, this is something else. Even he thought that this was something spiritual happening with him. So Jay was like, oh my God, these two guys were funny, bro. Yo, Jay was like, yo, I got some holy water in my room. He said his mom gave it to him when he was a kid, and he always kept it with him because he came from a Catholic family. And he was like, hold on, I got you, bro. Stay right there. He went inside and he came back and he really did have some he really did have holy water. And the guy D is just sitting on a chair. He opens the valve, he started pouring it on the guy's head, bro. And the dude's just sitting there letting him pour this water on his head. Like, bro, they were funny, bro. I started cracking up laughing again, bro. Man, I was laughing so hard I started crying, bro. Like, these two dudes were funny. Like, he was just sitting there, like, just pouring the water on top of the dude's head, bro. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Oh my God, man. These dudes were funny, bro. Anyway, man. The moral of the story is, be careful who you invite into your home, because you probably heard this before. It's an old folks tale, but you will hear a lot of older people say stuff like this. But when you invite people into your home, they bring spirits, and I'm inclined to believe it. That is exactly the case. When my friend Kay brung that witch into our house, I'm telling you, man, I started seeing things I had never seen in my life. And not only that, but in this very same house, a young girl committed suicide. Well, she didn't do it intentionally. She just wanted to get high, and it cost her life. Unfortunately, that's why you need to say no to drugs, kids. You don't want to end up a statistic. But yeah, be careful who you bring into your home, man. And always, always thank your Heavenly Father when you wake up. That is important, man. Keep a close relationship with Him. Keep constant communication open with Him. Be open with Him. You know, don't try to use it to show off in public. No, because you have a lot of people who do that. They're called hypocrites. You wanna pray morning, day, and night, man, for protection from these vile and evil spirits that are just lurking about. They are scavengers of the damned. They will, listen, man, these people who are filled with these type of spirits, they will literally feast on your organs, bro. It's called cannibalism. All a cannibal is a demon-possessed man or woman. They eat human flesh. They love the vitality of the blood. There's no life in hell. You understand? That's how they come up with the concepts like vampirism. Because there's no rest for the wicked. I didn't mean to make this one too long, but I was just sitting here thinking about this story, man. I laugh every time I think about it. It's scary and funny at the same time. This guy, D, I miss him, man. Like, yo, this guy used to have me cracking up laughing. He was so funny, bro. His life itself was funny. You know, I don't mean to laugh at the things that this guy was going through, but if you're someone who looks at things as if they were just chance and coincidence, like how I did during that time, stuff like this is going to be funny to you. Because it sounds almost unbelievable. It seems impossible even. I kid you not, man. These things were happening to him within like the same week or two. I remember it was very close. These events that took place were very close to each other. It was within like a 2-week time span at best. It was happening quick. These things were happening to him very fast. But yeah, be careful who you invite into your home, yo. They bring spirits. Man. You have to be careful who you hang with, man. Seriously. You have to know who your friends are. Be careful who you call a friend. You never know, that person can quickly become an enemy, and who knows what's going to happen next. That person might have been into witchcraft the whole time and you didn't even know. Scary thought, man. Anyway, I'll get back to you guys later. Peace.